People love the idea of small business. They love the storefronts, the online communities, the creativity. They love the passion, the story of the passion and the grit, I should say, because there's always grit and there's always passion. Which one weighs out the other? I don't know. Depends on the day, right? But what they don't always see is everything that happens before the door opens and everything it takes to keep it open once it does. So today's episode is a conversation about running a business in Ipswich from a woman's point of view specifically. It's about perception, systems. It's about endurance, lots of endurance, and about how all those things change over time, don't they, to some degree. Welcome to the Sane Estate. I'm John Woolforth. Today's episode is a roundtable, not a panel, which means no order, no lanes, no polite taking turns. Feel free to talk over each other, but don't be obnoxious. Leave that to me. Which I'm not really obnoxious. I just play one on TV. Mm-hmm. All right, so 3 Ipswich business owners whose work overlaps in ways that aren't always obvious, even when the businesses themselves look very different from the outside. With me today are Nancy Higgins of Precision Pilates. We have Betsy Frost of Betsy Frost Design. And we have Angela, and I forgot your last name. That's really smart.
Zeremba.
Zeremba.
Okay. It's a great name.
Angela Zaremba of Luxa. Or is it Lux?
Luxa. Yeah.
Yeah, Luxa.
It's named after a dog named Lux.
Luxa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, I like that. All right, so we're going to go back now. So you guys just started your business. You know, you're just starting out. People are coming into the store, and like you have this thought in your head of what you're supposed to be or how these things are going to go, how the interactions are going to, run. But it's never really like that. So let's go from there. And I believe, Nancy, you're going to go ahead and start.
Well, it's interesting. My story might be a little different than the others because I started my business about 30 years ago. So there wasn't internet, and there wasn't social media.
When you were like 10? What do you mean?
Oh, John. But no, seriously. So I think the communication, I kind of expected it to be easier. And even today, it's hard to market. But back then, I think it was really hard to market. So the expectation that people are just going to find you, right? That you really have to put in a lot of effort to market your business. And now in more of a saturated environment in both fitness and in retail, it's even more important to mark your place in your market. And so I think for me, starting out, there were some misconceptions about what Pilates is. And again, I think 30 years later, there's still a lot of misconceptions. Back then, people thought it was for people who had money, people who were just already fit. And it's quite contrary. It's for so many different bodies. And mostly we work with people who are, either in back pain or have osteoporosis or entering midlife or menopause, and we have more men than ever. But yeah, I think the expectation of people is that this was a place where beautiful people went with lots of money, and it's completely the opposite. It's something for everybody.
I like the way you did that. You just emphasize body.
Everybody.
When I first heard of Pilates, I thought it was like, who does pilots? What's that?
That's exactly what people would call on the telephone because we had a landline. I want to try this pilots I saw on the news.
I guess it's better than pirates. Right? You want to run that.
I like pirates too. Pirates that do Pilates.
Yeah, there you go. So, Betsy, Angela, so your take on the situation, like, again, how did you feel when you started out? What did you think was going to happen? You want to get into business. What was the perception, or what was the expectation?
Either way, so I think it's kind of it's a fluid response for me, just because when I opened first, I was in a different location and it was a lot smaller. And it was actually a place where Betsy had been previously. So my goal was to get it out of my house. I don't think I had these crazy expectations of what other people would think coming into it, because my goal was like, let's get it out of the house. That being said, once I moved to the bigger location, the assumptions and what people say, it's kind of almost like as it's evolved, it's had different life paths, I guess. And so at the new one, there's more assumptions, and I hear more now, whereas in the beginning, I was kind of like, this is where it's going, this is what it is. I try not to think of people's opinions in a bad way. Like, I'm going to do what feels authentic. But I think overall, people have been kind. It's different because different kind of when we started, I guess. but people are buying something and leaving with something. So in that respect, it's tangible, whereas yours is over time and it's a habit. And I think for me, it's like people are happy, maybe.
I remember when Angela was bringing her stuff to markets every weekend, like
Yeah.
lugging boxes and boxes and setting
that's
up
I
tables.
worked, yeah, I worked a full-time job for years and then did nights and weekends, like 70 pop-ups a year. And
Rain and
then,
shine.
yeah, because I was like, I just need to keep doing it this way to make sure it's like what I really want to do. Because I didn't go to school for any type of jewelry design, so I don't do the whole welding and all the.
Well, that's actually a fascinating point because you're doing the pop-up, so you're getting a taste of running a business without
Exactly.
actually doing the full commitment.
Yeah, it kind of rolled out again a little bit more organically because I got to dip my feet into it, and then I was never gonna have a store. I was like, absolutely not. And then when I did, I was like, oh yeah. And then it's
Famous last words.
Yeah.
Not gonna have a store.
Yeah.
I see that. So, okay, Betsy, your turn.
So a little almost ditto. I loved your word fluid. I started out as a wholesale business and did so many shows as well. Wholesale kind of flatlined about 11 years ago. And I was getting a little bit more of a name for myself or in my jewelry in Ipswich, because I'm not from Ipswich, I'm from Vermont.
Yeah.
But I was tired of doing the shows, wasn't making enough money. So I did the pop-up where Angela went after.
Yeah, on Elm Street.
And mostly just my jewelry, but a friend came in and did a scarf event. And we sold so many scarves. And I was like, oh my God.
You're like, we should carry everything. We should just keep selling everything.
Totally.
So that's where the idea of the clothing came from? or
Well,
adding
just
clothing?
scarves, just accessories.
Yeah,
So I opened the door, but one of the most important things for me is I didn't want to come across as like this expensive jewelry store. So I was kind of very strategic about introducing myself to Ipswich. That 10 years ago, Ipswich wasn't as wealthy either. So I really just wanted to be a place where someone could find anything as well as my jewelry. So, and then kind of exactly what you said, it's just never thought I'd be selling all this Ipswich merchandise.
Yeah.
And, you know, like just the way it's evolved
Yeah,
has been wonderful, but just never what I expected. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you two have a little bit of a relationship in a sense. Well, you know each other, obviously.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And
right?
we
I
all
used
know
to
each other.
work, yeah.
She used to
Yeah,
work
I
at
used
Precision
yeah,
Pilates.
Because
Oh, you
I went
did?
to school for kinesiology, actually. So,
She was a trainer at the studio.
No
yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
So
So,
we've-
wow.
I watched
So
her
we're all
from, the, like I said, the weekends of. I don't know how she did it. So I'm just
I
gonna.
still don't even know
I'm
how
gonna
you
just
do what you
throw
do,
her
so.
this compliment out loud because she
Thank you.
worked full time. She taught before work. Every night and weekend, she was making jewelry and going on these shows.
I
And
just love them all. I love
it
all
was
the
amazing. And then she
things.
became a mom.
They're fulfilling.
Yeah, it was like how.
Just,
And when I
wow,
say
you know.
full time, like you had a pretty big position. So, yeah. So and I've known Betsy since
Yeah.
she opened.
Yeah.
Just fell in love with her
And
immediately.
we're like peas and carrots from the get-go.
And I think when you meet
Yeah.
other women in business, you immediately bonded as well, or other women starting to open businesses, or
Yeah.
you know, you just want to support them and
it's
cheer
all,
them on.
You guys have, sort of things in common beyond being women and, being in business. But I mean, I think it's funny that you guys like make jewelry, but you sort of have to do some Pilates, like at least in Betsy's case, you need Pilates to carry the 10-pound rings she makes, But I got one for my wife, and it's like it's a big thing. It's amazing, but she likes it. That's
Oh,
the
good.
important part, right? All right, so we got some concept of where you guys came from, and it's still been a long road, right? But where was it in those early days, and probably the same for you, Angela, is, was there a moment when you realized that you were being evaluated in some way, not just for your work, but the way that you explained or justified that work? And I think this applies also to Nancy, because people don't understand what Pilates is, right? And they're sort of saying, you can really, that's all you do? I don't get it, all right?
I was going to let Angela go because you started.
All I was going to say is it's interesting because what I found is that people that don't know, they don't do it or they don't know how to do it, people will come in there like, you make all the jewelry? All of it? But when? But how? And I'm like, I mean, if I was a neurosurgeon, I would be able to just do that. Like, I don't know how they do that. So I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of assumptions. That's what I was saying. At first there weren't all these assumptions, but later on, people, when they don't understand it, but I don't think it's negative from them. Like them saying it isn't negative.
No,
So
I would think it's a fascination. Like,
yeah, but I think
you
for
know,
us, it does
amazing.
come off maybe sometimes a little bit like you're like, whoa, what? I don't know. Do you think
don't
I
understand
didn't
what
make
you're
it? Do you
doing
think
here.
I'm not telling the truth? So that's the only kind of line I sometimes will border on when people don't understand something, but
Yeah.
you can't take it personally.
I also think that question has a lot of subjective answers, and I will say, when you are explaining your business and as opposed to justifying it, I think the word explaining or even selling, because that's what we have to do, and our product isn't just a service or a piece of jewelry, it is who we are as well. I think your ability to communicate plays an enormous role in people's perception of you and whether they expect you to justify what you do or they enjoy hearing what you do. They see the passion for what you do, and that sells itself. Like if you can explain, and I just find when I explain what I do, people get excited because I'm as excited as I was 30 years ago when I started doing it, and I love talking about it and I love sharing it, and so yeah, I feel like someone said, I think people are generally kind when you're sharing the true part of yourself and not just
True.
selling a product or a service.
And I agree. I think that's what's one of the keys to small business, especially sole entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, is that you've got a lot of your personality has to come into it or come out of it when you deal with people, right? Mm-hmm. So this is sort of along those lines. And again, being as women, I would think that people, let's be honest. I mean, if I come into the store, I have an expectation or a certain expectation of what it's going to be, and then so I have to ask questions. I have to, look around and go, is this really like in my world, And I think a lot of people, a lot of guys, when they come into stores run by women, they think that it's just for women. Mm. I think that's a common perception because I'm common, and I get that perception sometimes. So what do you think about that one? Anyone?
I mean, I wish my store, I always struggle making men's jewelry. Mm-hmm. Just can't. I'm like, my aesthetic is very, not guy. Mm. And I've struggled with men gifts in the shop too. And so a lot of men come in the store and I'm like, sorry, like I just don't have the talent to make men's jewelry. And I can't really seem to figure out the right men gift. So I say, well, we are a girly shop.
Okay.
So
for you it is.
But so many men come and buy jewelry for their girlfriends and loved ones. And so that's a huge demographic. And we just try to keep it as fun and simple. And I feel like my jewelry is really simple. We make it right there, and we're very nice and talkative, and we'll show you the back room. And
so should I stop wearing the hat I bought then? I kind of like it, the furry.
My husband buys my jewelry at their stores. I just she'll tell you what I need.
Yeah. Well, that's just fun. I did that.
And I'm so grateful. So I just think, again, everyone is very nice that comes in.
I've never felt like I've left a man out of something they wanted to buy, and now I'm like inclined to have a bigger store so I can have a men's section. No,
It's
there's
tough,
not
though.
enough space, retail space in Ipswich, I don't think. And
There's not.
not enough, no. And I think the nice thing, I hand off customers to Betsy all the time.
And
Because
ditto.
I don't do the jewelry she does. I am not going to aspire to do it. She is beautiful at it. She does such nice work. And it's really nice when you can say to a customer, I don't do that, but like go right down the street, you will find, if it's not even, cards or something that her shop more so specializes in. So I've never felt that I did leave a man out, which again, now I'm thinking we could open that like
I
community
opened up a can
more.
of worms.
But
no, I'm kidding.
I just think if we had a little bit more retail in Ipswich, it could maybe open up more space for,
There's definitely a
More
space for a man's shop.
yeah.
Totally.
And
There was a
and
man's
so
shop for a
there
little while.
was, Yeah,
And-
it didn't go over. It didn't
didn't do well.
last.
Well, there
Really?
wasn't,
So
at
why?
that point, there weren't many stores at all, I
Right.
think.
Yes,
too.
it
There
was-
was
Oh, you
like,
think
because
that
then
was
we've got
part
the
of it?
bookstore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's great.
It's a missing niche.
I love that for a while, it's just been
Yeah,
us.
us.
But our stores are so compatible because it's the same.
That's a good idea. I could open I can do
You
a
could
store
open
then,
up a
right?
men's
That's
shop.
right.
I know,
We
there
could
you
do,
go.
like,
You've got
the
our
man
approval.
cave. Do the man cave. We'll sell everything that man
Call it
cave
the man
stuff.
cave. That's perfect.
I
name.
love
You're
that. The
onto
men would
something.
come looking for whatever was
I
going
don't think
on.
men really love shopping.
And you could
though.
fix your
That's the
websites while they
problem.
were shopping.
Yeah.
Too, I
That's
feel.
right. I do.
Well, I'm not saying all men.
Well, mostly. I shouldn't say I do. It depends really on what you're looking for, and if you get the more you get, you can't find it, you get more frustrating.
Yeah.
Screw it.
And
I can do it.
tangibly
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
it.
So that kind of depends. But you already talked about like the situation in Ipswich with retail space and so on. So that was sort of leading up to the next question too, which is, how does the place shape, the experience of starting a business, right? And again, it's the open space, what space is available, right? What are all the hoops and stuff that you have to go through to make that happen? I have no idea because I work out of my house. So, but for you guys, I know, Nancy, you've mentioned some challenges or well, you had some opinions on like the process here versus like your place in Newburyport, your location.
Well, two different things. One, I think it is always a challenging in a small town to find a good retail space for a reasonable price. So we rented for a long time at One Topsfield Road, which is absolutely beautiful. We found out, when I first looked at it, it was a dump. It didn't have walls or ceiling or plumbing or electricity, and it was full of trash. It had been abandoned.
It's just a big box.
It was a big box, and so we started, the person who owned it, we discussed the build out, and when we started cleaning out all this trash and debris that had been just stored there for years, we found some of these old, beautiful hardwood floors under carpeting.
Oh, isn't that always
It
a
was
great
amazing.
surprise, huh?
So it turned out it was a ballroom dance hall back in the 30s and 40s. And so we renovated it and made it beautiful, and we loved it. And then our landlord said he was going to condoize everything. So we're like, we're not buying it. It wasn't in our business plan. So I started looking around Ipswich, and it's 2,500 square feet with, huge ceilings, 6-foot windows, southern facing, looking out over the, Topsfield Road and the train station. And as I started looking around, I can't imagine your challenges because A, the inventory is really low, and B, what is out there is smallish and very expensive. So we did end up, forced our hand, we did buy it, and it was a good decision. But I'll circle back to the difference between Ipswich and Newburyport as far as business friendly, if that comes up.
Yeah.
But I think, I'm very grateful for the space we have in Ipswich. And I do think when people walk in, they're like, wow, this is beautiful.
Yeah, I liked your shop, your
Yeah,
spot, your
it's
space.
so pretty. But like I said, we don't have all the beautiful things to make it beautiful like you ladies, but we do have a beautiful space. And like I said, I can't imagine, both your locations are excellent.
Yeah, I think.
Either side of the pub, so when I eat, I can go in either
Go right
direction.
there.
Well, you're all related because you're actually creating the bodies for which Betsy and Angela put jewelry on.
I love that.
Right?
We'll have to
Adorn
have some sort of marketing thing.
Okay, going with the concept of the challenges of Newburyport versus Ipswich. Okay, you said that there were some differences in the way those things are done.
Yeah, I mean, I love Ipswich. I grew up in Ipswich. I don't want to say anything negative about Ipswich, but the difference between the way we were welcomed as a business when we opened in Newburyport was a very marked difference in Danvers, where our other studio is, which was very difficult. Danvers is actually a difficult town. Newburyport was like welcome with open arms. I feel like Ipswich is very indifferent about its businesses.
I totally agree with
Completely.
that.
Like,
Like the
we-
things
Okay.
that I hear at
Yeah.
our location, I love our location. Like we're right over the river.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful deck that looks out, and no one knows it when they're
Oh, that's
walking in
your
the
place?
front door. Yeah,
You
it's.
suck.
I know it's so beautiful, but once you walk in, then you like forget where you are. But there's so many people that walk by and they're like, "How are you doing here? I didn't know you were here." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay." I'm like, we have been and we have signage, and I mean that's kind of a crazy part as you come over the Choke Bridge. People go so fast that like
Right.
parallel parking or parking in this town is a little challenging in
Don't pay
general.
attention to the yellow Jeep. It goes by about 50. That's me.
Well, people try to walk across the road and they're just like, it's like
Yeah, because they
a
come down so
splat.
fast. The
Yeah.
pedestrians are like, "Oof."
So I think there's not a lot of retail in Ipswich, but people kind of fly through and they're not paying attention. So it's my favorite thing to hear now because I'm like, we are here and we're doing well and we are supporting our other businesses in town and creating fun things. And
Well, I think you're a lot easier to find than the pop-up market. What's that? The one that is in the
The
parking
Makers
lot,
Market.
right?
Yeah, but she's amazing at marketing, so that place is going to be fine.
Is it gonna be
I think
permanent?
What's
I don't know.
I couldn't find it.
Homegrown. Yeah,
Homegrown.
she's right across from the butcher.
Okay.
But she'll.
Oh, from the butcher?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about the same place.
Yeah,
Ipswich
she's
Butcher
brilliant though.
Brothers?
She'll.
Was
Yeah.
Where was she before?
Okay, well, I'm
She
thinking
just
it's the
did
Hammett Street
the-
parking lot.
Um,
She's not in there.
Farmers
No,
Market.
she's
That's
in the
why I can't
old.
find
Oh,
it.
then they made it hard for her.
The old
Ipswich.
Ipswich clam bake.
Yeah, Clinton.
Oh.
Didn't they make it difficult for her to run her market out? They were.
I don't know.
Oh, she had trouble.
Yeah, I
getting
think
her
that's
space.
what. So I'll go back very quickly to Newburyport versus Ipswich. When we opened in Newburyport, the Chamber of Commerce called us up and welcomed us. A bunch of the chamber members came to our open house, and they brought Senator Tarr. And like they said, let's do a ribbon cutting ceremony. They got us in the newspaper. They referred clients. They put our name up on their board.
Cool.
Other businesses came by and said hello.
They have a strong chamber.
They have a strong
and-
chamber.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point about the farmers market, I believe, and somebody else might remember this better. She was doing it on the green, right? And then they were trying to make those people who were selling in the little market to get permits every week, which is expensive and
I saw
time
that in the
consuming.
paper. Yeah,
So that's like an example of how Ipswich can make it.
Yeah,
less-
it's not super conducive. To,
I mean, again, I love this town. I grew up here, but I feel like the welcoming of businesses is less important than the welcoming of more buildings and residents and things like that.
Okay.
But in the defense, I happened to hit it lucky. I did get a ribbon cutting. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
geez,
So
excuse
I felt
us,
great about
Betsy.
that. No, the town has been really, really good to me. I think I just ended up landing at the right time and
The
you
right
know,
people.
Maybe a lot of things have changed or whatever,
I
but
think
I've always been in a
individually they're
good
okay. I just think-
situation.
I
So.
think as a
I think
as
it's
a retail's
it's
on-
not a
yeah.
cohesive group of
No, it's
businesses.
tough. We try. I love creating. I think is just like jewelry, like the setup of the store. We're gonna do something for Valentine's Day with all the other businesses. Like I love community and creating, and I think we need more of that. And I think when people like our little group is growing, and you know sometimes we'll try to not limit it, but try to make it that it's the retail facing spaces so customers are clear and understand, oh, I go here, this is the flow of what they're trying to do.
Right.
Other times we'll include like more of service based. So I think the more we just keep doing that, the more we're gonna build the community and the understanding that like we want to have this downtown. And
Does Ipswich even have a chamber of commerce?
we're part of
the greater.
Cape
Greater
Ann
Cape
Chamber.
Cape Ann Chamber of
Yeah.
Commerce?
I had an idea about
Yeah.
5 or 6 years ago. There's so many women that either own or co-own businesses in Ipswich. Lisa Travers, be at the Cellar Door, Heart and Soul, goes on and on and on. And I had thought of this idea, just like I need another 5 hours in my week,
Yeah.
of starting a women's in business for like group
Network
to help promote our businesses
Yeah.
outside of Ipswich and
That's a
to
good
do
idea.
fun things and to do fundraisers for the town. And so maybe we can
Because we've always talked
resurrect.
about that.
Yeah, so maybe we can resurrect that idea. At
I
some
think
point.
everyone's so busy and
Yeah.
it's easy to say I'm busy, I can't do it. But there is excitement there.
Yeah.
I've talked to so many of the businesses in town and I don't think anyone's like, oh, I don't want to do it. That's not the behind the scenes. It's
I would think
Totally.
you're right.
I feel like retail is really on the up and up.
I agree. I agree.
And, which is great. And I feel like business begets business. And so compared to 10 years ago, I'm really, really excited about
Yeah,
the
it's just
energy.
consistency. People know what now to
Yeah.
sort of expect coming to Ipswich. Like
Right.
somebody came for her and they found me, or they came for me and they found title pages. You know, it's
Right.
just
Well, you know,
cohesive.
there's, I'm sure there's no secret that there's a bit of challenge in this town with financing or revenue. So, and it's been discussed multiple times about the amount of business taxes paid in this town. It's like under 20% of total revenue. Why isn't this town find a way to create some sort of initiative to
Yeah.
attract more small businesses to town? Retail businesses. This is a tourist town.
Yeah.
It's full of
Yeah.
people every summer.
Oh, I mean, fall. We get
In
so
fall,
many
too,
people
yeah.
in the fall. I'm like, where are you coming from? So
Right.
many out of
Yeah.
towners because they're going to Salem. They're coming here. There's all little.
But I have to say, when I talking about expectations and that kind of thing, the biggest slap in the face for me when I opened my business, and again, I'm not from Ipswich, but I've been in Ipswich now like 24 years, so I opened my store almost 10 years ago. So I felt like I knew the town. I didn't really know retail, but I opened my shop, and I thought I would be so busy in the summer. I just pictured droves of people coming from Crane Beach and coming to the shop, or like midday, and I realized no, because people drive to the beach, and usually they take Northgate Road, maybe off a different highway. And then Ipswich doesn't stay open late at night for restaurants. There's no outdoor dining.
It's
So we could
so
have an
many
ice cream
things.
shop. We could have a juicery.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, but
we could
so
have
many
a couple
people go
more.
into Essex.
Yeah.
Post beach.
Part of why you don't get that crowd is exactly that. There's not enough business in the town
Right.
to
Yeah.
attract people to
Which is
stay-
what you're saying.
spend
It's
time
not
here.
cohesively like the town
Right.
is
Well,
trying to
back
get
to
more
the point
small.
is like we need a leader
And you need initiatives.
to help bring
In
it
their spare
together.
time.
And, right.
Yeah,
I do, but again, another thing I really love. That's why I'm like,
Yeah,
She's the
no, I
youngest
do
too, though.
too.
She has all the energy.
Totally.
So,
Yeah.
you should
No,
do
I
it.
would definitely
You
work
should
with
do
you
that.
too, Angie, because I
It's like,
I feel very passionate about getting more business-friendly atmosphere out there, and not just friendly. I think people are, in general, everyone's so friendly. I think it's just, the chamber in Newburyport does so many amazing things, and for Christmas time and summertime, they decorate the streets. We used to be able to decorate our
Poles.
poles,
Yeah.
the telephone poles at Halloween.
Yeah.
And the kids would come around and trick or treat, and they'd judge the poles, and it was really fun.
Oh, really?
And they
That
stopped
sounds
doing.
cool.
They made us stop
Yeah.
doing that.
why?
I just think, I think there's
Fuddy-duddies?
a lot of roadblocks. When I first opened the store, I really wanted to try to get business from the beach. So I even, went to
All the-
town hall, and I was like, can I just get a sign that says, like, Ipswich is town,
Yeah.
retail here? Like, flat out no, like,
What is...
it's just an old, and that's what makes Ipswich so charming, is not that much signage. And I don't know, I remember I lost a lot of my steam like year 3. I was putting pamphlets in. I got okay to
Yeah.
put pamphlets in the bathroom at Crane Beach, and then someone took them all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they wouldn't let us put a rack up, which was fine, but I just felt like I was just hitting a dead end.
Yeah, you don't have the
So
support.
I was like, all right, I'm busy, it's okay, but it just wasn't the expectation that I had in terms of a beach town, summer town. I just thought
Right.
it was
Well, if there's a
like,
coalition of people, I think those things can be moved. We can move the needle a little bit. If it's just one person, I think it's difficult.
yeah.
That's why I like doing this show, man. It's like, it's so enlightening to hear this stuff and get the perception of what's really going on. Yeah, I don't get this disconnect. I mean, this town's crying about, everyone is crying about money and, getting all these things they want to do and the taxes and all this stuff.
I
It's
mean,
like,
you also have like when I get there was a lot going on with outdoor seating and COVID and stipulations and who got what and parking and whatnot, but it is really nice to have outdoor seating. Like I think everyone kind of
Yeah.
I
agrees
agree.
on that.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
But there was a lot of people that I think there's just a lot of people that want to complain about things that I don't know if they're taking a step back to be like, how does this actually help the whole thing?
Right.
Well,
In the
I'll give you
summer-
I'll give you an example of people complaining. At True North Ales in Ipswich, they have music, and it's a family restaurant. You see kids, and it's usually fairly acoustic music. There might be some amps once in a while, and it ends, I think, like 6 on the Sunday, and maybe not 8 or 9. There's a group of people that complained about that. And they also complained about the Hellenic Center music after, for weddings. And they wanted to ban live music in Ipswich. They
We
even went to write an article, someone wrote an article, how these live musicians and were, copywriting famous people's songs, and that was illegal. I mean, people got, they wanted to get rid of the little bands down by, EBSCO, and there's a band on Friday that plays in front of Zoomies sometimes in the warm weather. They wanted to do away with all these bands. And this is the complaining that doesn't serve anybody. And their voices were,
Are these people monks? Like, what's the
I
deal?
just think they live in that general area, and I think they wanted it quiet at night. And I can respect that.
I think
The
it's
live
just that
music-
cusp of things changing in town.
I can,
There's-
I can identify with that. I'm that way. Like, I will cry and complain if it's loud music late at night. But I mean,
But it's not that late.
If it's saying if it's done by like 9 o'clock, 9:30,
But if you
maybe
want
even
commerce, right, you need to have things like music and outdoor dining
Sure.
and things like that. Otherwise,
I
people are
totally
going to
support
just
that.
drive away.
10. Sure. I mean,
Drive
because
through.
we like to see bands. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
And that's-
Especially the outdoor dining, though. I know that for the pub, Corey, who owns the pub now, like, it just was. He has so many restaurants. He doesn't have the time. You know, he was ready to open up again, and they were just. He was kind of. Like,
They make it easy
nitpicked-
for you to say,
nitpicked.
"Fine, I'm
Yep,
throwing in the
and
towel."
he threw in the towel. He's
Yeah,
like, you know what?
which is sad.
Yeah.
I was
People
doing it more
suffer.
for the town. Think of the
Yeah.
revenue, and it's such a bummer.
It is.
Which
I know.
town? You're gonna have to help me out.
Oh, the choke.
Chopridge Pub.
Oh, so
sorry.
he sold it? I
No,
mean,
no,
they
no. The
sold it?
No, no,
corner
the-
he had he could have done outside, right?
Right.
Oh.
Seating.
So during
Yep.
COVID,
Right.
there was outdoor seating at the pub.
Yeah.
Zabayone, he had outdoor seating, and that's how
Brown
the outdoor
Dog.
seating started. Brown Dog and Heart and Soul.
Yeah.
And Corey was all in, who owns the pub now. But he also owns a lot of restaurants. He's busy. And he was nitpicked so much about, like, the angle of the table and this can't, and blah,
Or
blah, blah.
the way that it's stipulated. You
Yeah.
could put this, but not that.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's
he was
crazy.
like, forget it. And that impacted my business
Yeah.
so much. During COVID, to have, like, tables out in front of my store, I used to joke with Bill Angus, who used to own the pub. Sometimes I made more money on that table
They did.
because they'd come in
Just staring at
and
it, yeah.
I had a reason for me to be open later. So I just feel like it's a series of unfortunate events sometimes that happen that dictate really some serious bottom lines for businesses in town.
All right. There's a
I'm
lot
gonna be
there to
diplomatic.
unpack, man.
Yeah,
This
it's a lot.
wow.
No opinions.
Is that
here.
too much?
No, we
I
don't
don't have any
opinion.
opinions.
I don't have any opinions. I have I have every opinion.
It's important to explore, because we love our town so much and because we love our businesses so much, it's important to explore what we can improve on. It's not like
Absolutely.
just having opinions. It's like, I would call them more observations.
Okay.
Does that make it
I
softer?
didn't come across too strong. You can delete that.
No, we're keeping everything. All of it. No, I don't know. Maybe. We'll see how it pans out. So we've been talking. Basically, part of what we were just talking about was how you relate to the town, right? Obviously. And in those kinds of conversations, and this is sort of, again, from a women's perspective, I think. When you talk with officials or customers or anybody, the UPS guy, whoever, who's expected to keep things calm, pleasant, reasonable? Is it?
We are also therapists.
And mothers
Thank
and
you.
grandmothers.
Thank you very much. That was my point. That's it.
No, I think we wouldn't be in this if we weren't extroverts. Maybe number one.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't talk to a wall and just really are passionate, right?
And I
Like,
think when you deal with the public all the time, I think you have to. I don't think you're going to be in business unless you have an innately fairly pleasant personality and enjoy people. And so when difficult people do cross our paths, I think we all have really amazing strategies to smile because the customer is always right, and to
Yeah.
try to do our best to accommodate even a difficult personality, and to not create more conflict or more, whatever they're bringing at you, and just diffuse it. And like I said, I think it comes from a certain personality can handle that. It doesn't ruffle the feathers. They may leave and you might ruffle a little behind closed doors, but
Just doing shots in the back.
but do it.
Is that why you're going back there so often, Betsy? He didn't like me. I was like, oh.
And I don't know if that's different from men. Like, I don't know if men
Well-
are more confrontational, and I'm just like, let me smooth this over the best I can, and I'm not
I
gonna.
think you start to see though when you're working with somebody and you're like, this is going to be a total pain.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to diffuse somebody because some people come in all like this and it's like, it's okay. Take a deep breath. And then like, that's my favorite when someone comes in and I'm like, oh, they're just like surrounded by negative energy. Let's fix that. Like
Right.
either by them walking through the store, because people just, I think for all three of our spaces, like they're so how we've set them up. And I sometimes joke, like right now we have so much spring stuff. It's like a museum. I don't care. Come in, look around. If it makes you feel good, you'll come back when you want to wear it. But that seeing the people diffuse is nice. So once you do it once, then you kind of know how to help the negativity.
So you all provide therapy, but who provides therapy to you?
The bottle in the back.
Kind of along those lines, you know? I mean, my wife and I both run, you know, we both has our own businesses also. So it's like, yeah, when can we start drinking? Sometimes it's days like that, and we all know that. But I mean, it's like you already said, that you're the captain of the ship. You have to steady it. You have to. That's as far as I can get.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or just to say one thing I guess from the beginning I probably should have said. I think the assumption though of owning your own business is like it's great. I mean, I'm in the summer, I want to be on our boat. And I will get up early, work late. Like people don't know what you're doing. It's like, yeah, you have a 9 to 5. That's when you clock in, clock out. There is no clock out, as I think everyone who owns a business knows.
And it's like, you know, chief cook and bottle washer. You're like shopping
Yeah.
at Costco and cleaning the bathroom and, you know, doing marketing and Instagrams and, you know, all this.
You're up
And then
so early.
It's
I
Teaches
love
the early classes.
I don't
yeah.
teach them anymore, but I'm doing stuff at 5 in the morning because I want to have the end of the day free. It's either
Yeah.
or. But as Angela said, it is a 24/7. But I think having, and I'm gonna wonder about you guys. I think having that one person in your life that you can kind of run things by, and for me, it's my business partner and daughter Liz. Like I would be so sad if I didn't have someone to bounce ideas off of. It could be a husband, it could be a friend or somebody, an acquaintance. But I do think we're all extroverts. I think we probably all process out loud as opposed to internalize what we're going to do next. To hear it and to get the feedback. So yeah, I'm super lucky to have a business partner who I can actually text at 5 in the morning or 9 at night, and she'll be like, "Oh, great idea."
yeah.
Yeah, just give you the affirmation on it.
Yeah.
And
Or just
so
tell you it's good.
for you two, is it your husbands more
No.
or less? No. No. Those guys.
No, I think we have to I think, you know, church and state, I guess. Keep it separated.
Yeah, that's good.
I personally have an amazing friend, Courtney, who makes candles that I carry in the store. And she came into the store randomly. She moved back from California and just was on a walk and was like, I would love to have a friend. And I would like to work here. And she was an illustrator. And at the time I was looking to like redo all of my branding and cards. And I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. Like you have somebody that's on the same wavelength as you. That can be like, you're wrong, like don't get so worked up about this, but also can at the same time be like, yeah, try it, it might be okay. So I think, I don't know if it's a girl for a girl thing, but it's nice to have the female partnership of like help.
Well, I think there's some merit to that, and I think we talked once too about the website and how you sort of said, well, we need a woman's touch on that, and I get it. I mean, you know, you have to feel that you have an ally, and you have to feel like, and a lot of times it is other women because you guys are all facing the same challenges. It's
And I think it's a wavelength. I think women are on a wavelength because just we have so many common experiences, and I think there's an intimacy and connection that is different. Like I would never talk to my husband about decisions in my business. I tell him what I decided, but he wouldn't be on my wavelength. He wouldn't be like, he'd problem solve for me, you know, and I don't need that. So you have that friend.
Yeah, I mean, they're great for communication and like support. I just think they'll like,
Inventing.
yeah.
I mean, like,
yes, definitely.
I can vent about my day to him.
Venting, yep.
Yeah.
I think they're a little more quick to just have a
Or be
response of
happy.
black and white too,
Right,
though. Not
right,
the
yeah.
like, let's hash this out and figure out how to creatively do it. It's more like,
then they essentially are your therapists. And
Yeah.
they're another
Yeah.
therapist,
Yes,
right?
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very important, though. I think, you know, my wife and I, we do the same thing in that sense. I mean, you know, and I agree with you that you're going to sort of voice things out. I always do that. I'll sit there and look at she'll come in and be like, who you talking to? Myself? You know, I'm looking at the computer, whatever. Like, well, and you know, it's like you don't even think about it. You're just doing it, like drumming on the table.
Right.
Wait, did I do that? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of like that. But
Yeah.
all those things are important, right?
And I also have a complete right arm. I have Kim, who's been working for me for 13 years. She used to, before I opened the store, it was a wholesale business, and we made all the jewelry. I actually used to make way more jewelry before I opened the store because I sold to like 125 stores.
Ooh.
And so Kim has seen my dirty laundry too, because they worked in my basement where my laundry was.
Literally, you're dirty.
So literally, you saw your dirty laundry.
But Kim and I, like, it's like the symbiosis. Like, I do talk out loud and thinking all the
Yeah, you just start to do the same things when you're around somebody that much.
Yeah.
But then if it really clicks, I think then you're like, oh, this is the good.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get the right answers.
And I don't think we'd be as successful as we
No,
are
without
without
the
that
support.
other female counterpart that you can process a different way with.
Yeah, I have a good team.
Yeah, me too.
So we know,
Me too.
obviously, we're seeing here the mental state of mind is super important, especially when you're running a business. I mean, there's so many things to concern yourself with and be concerned with or considered, you know, and so, but that's just half the battle, right? There's the physical aspect, especially when you're starting out. Like, nobody else is sort of covering for you, right? Nobody else is gonna open the store, close the store if you're not there in the beginning, right? So now you probably have some help.
Well,
Betsy,
or
that's
at
some
Christmas.
or holidays or any vacations or whatever the case is. It's never the normal employee relationship. Like, you're a company, it's like, oh, you get a sick day or whatever. It's not like that.
Right.
So we all get health challenges though. So I kind of wanted to just bring that up a bit here and see if you guys wanted to elaborate on. I know all of you in some way or at some point have had health challenges that you faced, and how did that impact the business? How did you manage to keep it going with when you weren't there and when you had to go through these other things that consumed you, essentially, with the health? Health is such a consuming topic, especially when you're dealing with an issue. So
I feel like with small business for men and women, when you are faced with a personal health crisis, it's very difficult than when you work for a company that has a lot of resources to fill in the gaps. So yeah, I think that is a huge challenge, and it's a risk. It's a huge risk when you open a business, because no one can do it like you. And until you get to the point where you have that other person or that team, it's very difficult to imagine, you know, opening up and then finding out that you have stage 3 cancer, which is what happened to me when I opened my Ipswich studio a year after I opened.
that's crazy.
It was crazy. I had to have, you know, surgery, chemo, radiation, lymph nodes removed. It was pretty serious. And at the time, my mom was also ill with cancer, and I was her primary caretaker. So it was a big year. It was the year I opened. So I can speak to this. I was terrified, but I don't know why, but I knew that I would survive and that my business would survive. Not a problem. And I think it's because I've surrounded myself with really good people my whole entire life. And I also have a super positive attitude. So I knew I was going to get through it. My daughter came home from Boston. She moved in. She grew up in a Pilates studio. She took over the studio. She did her teacher training pretty fast. She was a brilliant teacher off the bat. And the few gals that I had were gals. What am I, from 1940? The gals.
Well, it sounds swell.
The swell gals that I had. There's 17 teachers now. I had like 2 others. And I had a small place in Danvers and a small place in Ipswich. And so while I was out, they ran the show. But like any female business owner, as soon as I was like home from surgery, I was like on the computer and on the phone trying to. So yeah, I worked from my hospital bed basically. But, you know, knock on wood, I won't really knock.
Yeah,
I've been healthy for 13 years.
that's
So,
fantastic,
yeah,
though.
so
Good for you.
that was-
And
that
we're all
was-
glad that you're here.
And my daughter's been my business partner for 13 years. So all happy endings. But yeah, the health, I want to say to anyone out there dealing with health challenges, owning a business, like, you know, God bless you, because it is the big risk you take. Because when you work alone or with 1 or 2 people and you can't be there for weeks and months, it's not, it's tough. And a lot of people don't, you know, like the pandemic, it can break you.
Yeah.
Not to be a downer.
So
You're not a downer. You're inspiring.
what's your story, Betsy?
For me, the hardest thing, I think, for the journey of my business is that, you know, I used to be there 24/7. Then I have a good team, became a yes woman and started to have maybe a lot more products and more ordering and more shows, and continued to surround myself with my team. But I can't really make jewelry in my shop anymore because it's too busy. I have a studio at home. So I really kind of made a nice transition of, not being there as much. And it was always like, I'd be in the shop probably, 30 hours a week instead of 100 hours or whatever.
That makes sense.
And people always would say, like, you're never here. I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you. And then I have had some health challenges as well. I've needed some surgeries that have needed big recoveries, where I've needed to be away for 6 to 8 weeks. And it's just awkward if you're dealing with a health issue, where people, last year was just a doozy. Sometimes you don't want to, oh, I haven't seen you, you're never here. And I'm like, well, I just shattered my L4 vertebrae. But sometimes you just don't want to go there. And so it's been just a little bit, it can be awkward. And I think what we were talking about before this podcast is being a woman, you want to just answer everyone's questions and, dot all the I's. But I feel like men own businesses. We were talking, if we're going to talk men and women, is they can shut it down. They can be like, oh, yeah, I haven't been here, walk away.
And I think people don't ask men I think they're a little more easier to
I think, too, maybe because they expect something of us from what we've given in the past. Right. It's like you're acting different. Maybe internally you might feel that I felt that way, at least, where people expect a certain level of you, and if you can't really bring that at that certain moment, are they wondering what's going on with you? And then do I have to explain what's going on with me? And it's, now you're in the place of I didn't want to say anything.
Right.
So, which goes back to we are our businesses.
Right.
We may have brick and mortar, but, we each of us are the face of our business. So if we're not there or something's going on, people want to know. Right. And, curious minds want to know. But,
And that's wonderful that they want to know. But, so it's just cyclical. I don't mean it to be negative at all. It's just you're asking about challenges, and it's a challenge.
It can be invasive.
It can be negative, but it's something that it's just adversity. But that's part of life. In the context of what you guys have to deal with, it's harder. I mean, with someone who works for a company, for example, if you have a health problem, or you can go home and you can take your sick days, or you can take time off, whatever you have to do. The business goes on, and I think you made some reference to that in the beginning when we started talking about this. So you don't have that benefit, Yeah, of course, now you have some help now, but it's still not to that.
Well, your business runs better when you're there.
Absolutely.
My sales are so much better when I'm there.
Yeah, well, you're like the heart of it.
Totally. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I agree with that. So
I think the things that is interesting about all of it is that it puts things into perspective when that happens. The interesting part about this, I mean, it brings on, so much anxieties around what's going on and the unknown of everything. But in the store, I pulled back from the store. I had wonderful girls covering it while I was gone. But something that was so minimal, I was out to dinner or lunch one day, and the waiter was running around in circles, and we were like, it's okay, slow down. We were just doing Santa pictures with the kids. We were like, come to us when you're ready. We're fine. We have waters. Take your time. And he's like, my dad taught me, do not confuse movement with production. And it was just so funny the way he said it, because I was like, or production with just moving forward, actually getting somewhere else. You don't have to run around in circles to get ahead. And I just felt like for so long you're running a business and you're doing all of the things because you can, and you can wear all the hats, but just doing everything isn't actually moving you forward.
Right.
So it's so basic, right? I'm like, he's literally running around in circles. He wasn't stressed out. And so I've taken that personally with my own business, and I'm like, no, we're not going to make that. We're not going to carry that. It does not serve me.
That's a huge line in the sand psychologically for a woman.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to say specifically for a woman to not feel like you have to do everything. And I think moms even do that. Like, I'll do it all because you might not do it as well as I do.
And I had heard that so many times before, and I'm like, I don't feel that way.
No,
I don't relate to it. And then all of a sudden
point.
This happened, and I'm like, whoa, I felt that way.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to keep moving to be moving forward and, productive. And it's just not, progress doesn't need to be just because you're productive all the time.
Right.
Okay. It's
Okay,
hard to
makes
get a
sense.
health issue to put you into that different mindset. And sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Okay. I obviously can't see it from your point of view, but I because I'm not, nobody's gonna question what I say because I'm a guy. It's kind of, you guys will, but
We
it's
can
like,
question you.
that's, you know, right? So I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this gender thing, and it sometimes gets in the way. And you said also there was a certain expectation that isn't the same for men versus women when things like that come up, or in a lot of different ways. So again, another point of that is, so, you know, you create things, Betsy, you create things, Nancy, you create things too. You create better health for people. You create better bodies for people, right? And you make their lives better in a different way. But you two provide something that helps them, makes them feel good. They enjoy it. They like to wear it. Makes them look good. They feel good about that. But also part of that is the way that you feel health-wise, right? As I said before, you know, you're building a body that the jewelry looks better hanging on, right? So who or what taught you how to price your work, and how long did it take to unlearn that?
It's a really good question.
Yeah, I mean, I think you start to understand your value, you know, and not compare yourself.
Where does that start, though? When do you start to
I
see a value?
Find I've always felt that way, but I also, I don't know, I just have always felt like even though I went to school for 7 years for the wrong thing, I've always sort of known the path. It was all great learning experiences. But within all of that, I just sort of, I guess maybe just knowing who you are and
You
what
can
you
have
can
cake
deliver.
parties outside of college.
I think sometimes too, it's like if you're going to attract the wrong crowd if you price based on what you think they want. Like, I'm sure for gold fill, the price keeps flying up. I could charge more, but I'm trying to make it still reasonable where we can still exist. We can still have customers. They can still afford it.
Yeah.
And we all can move forward to continue to do these things that we love. So for me, that's just how it has to be like authentic, I guess, with how I price it and not greedy by any means. Like I would rather have somebody come in the store, look around, question it, good, leave, come back. That's the best. Like come back because you couldn't stop thinking about it. Not that it's going to sit in your closet or in your jewelry stand and you don't wear it. Like that doesn't help us.
That's a good way to look at it. I get that. And that's true. Do you think it's when you start seeing, and you guys could jump in at the beginning too, but I just want to add this in. It's like so when you start seeing the response to what you do or what you provide, does that give you more confidence to say, yeah, no, this is worth more than I'm selling it for? Where's that line? Where does that become a thing?
I did that for a long time. I undersold myself because I used to be awkward asking for the sale more. I knew what I was doing was really valuable, and I knew that I was doing it better than a lot of people, and I say that so humbly. But at the time, there wasn't a lot of people doing what we were doing. But I was actually afraid. I'd do this great session with somebody. They would feel amazing. I didn't feel my neck. I was able to work out without hurting my back, and I would still be nervous to ask for the sale. I'm like, I'll comp you the first one. I don't know. I did this for years, and I don't know. Maybe it was the health scare. Maybe it was my daughter coming on board with me. You know, she's not at all like that. I raised her well. But I think I had to come to terms with, I felt like I loved it so much. I loved teaching so much, and I love Pilates so much, and the whole physical therapy aspect of Pilates, that I was thinking I love it so much, how can I be getting paid for it? Do you know what I mean? It was a weird psychology, and then I learned my worth. And also now that I have all these people that I pay, I need to make sure that we make enough money that everyone gets what they deserve. But it took me a while to learn what I deserve and what I was valued for, but I think it was kind of clouded by the fact that I didn't feel like anyone should pay for something I love so much. But service is a little different than product.
I was going to say, we do have a
It absolutely
ceiling,
is.
right? Because you can compare it. I mean, you have the uneducated shopper that's like, oh, I'll just get this on Amazon. And it's like, no, it's going to turn your skin green. It's going to,
Right.
we have obviously different in that respect. But you maybe
have
come
plated
across,
stuff,
but then you have like, it's going to be nickel that irritates people's ears where yours isn't going to. And people just don't know if they're looking at price point. So sometimes I find that to be a little challenging, but that's just educating the customer. But there is a ceiling for sure with what we can charge on certain things.
Definitely.
For what other stores are.
But product or service, there is a value to it. Okay, so that's what I'm getting at. It's like you feel the more response you get to what you do for people or what you provide to people that's positive, the more confident you become as to the value of what it is you're providing, right? So where do when did you get to the point that you were confident enough to say, this is it, this is how much it is, take it or leave it?
Well,
kind of like that.
Mine. So it's funny because I started out as a wholesale business, and I was 30 when I started my business, and I knew that I was gonna do what you did, and kind of waver. And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna have a wholesale price list and a catalog. This is my wholesale price, and I was selling to businesses, so it was more business anyway. There weren't the nice feelings, and it's like, all right, they see the price, they see the product, either they're gonna buy it or they're not. So I've always had my business that way, the way I have a formula for pricing and wholesale retail, but I don't do commissions. Because I turn into that.
Right.
I have made the most beautiful one-of-a-kinds for people and been like, oh,
Yeah,
$50. Yeah.
Please just take
And
it.
you
It'll
spent
look beautiful on
$100
you.
Yeah, and usually
I'm actually very bad at that. I will say that. I know my value, but I will give stuff away.
Yeah.
Quite frequently.
So, and I get that question pretty much every day. Will you make a wedding ring? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love the luxury to one day, but it's that turmoil of the pricing of it, because I've established more of a relationship with them, and the back and forth that
So creating it, you probably fell in love with it, and it's hard to put a value on
It
it.
takes a lot of time, though. I don't know if you do it this way, but for me, when I'm making jewelry, I mean, I have a lot of clothing in my store as well, so I have two different sides of it. But the making jewelry isn't like, let's create one piece from start to finish. It's like, I typically production line it. Like, sometimes the end result, there's tons of stuff getting the last little, like, Luxa tag.
Okay, that makes sense.
So when you're doing something just one off, it takes like so much more time. And it's not creative sometimes, and then
and
you're
it's not,
blocked,
and if you're not really fast, it's not, like I had to make a living, so I'm a production jeweler, so I get a mold of everything. I rarely just make a one-off and give it, or unless it's, I wish that's all I did, and I could just create pieces and give them to people. But
And we also have the whole marketplace that we all look at and see what our competitors are charging for similar products, and I think the confidence building, and we all have lots of bills to pay. Like for my industry, there's constant education, which costs thousands of dollars a year. There's obviously our rents and mortgages and payroll and you guys buying products. So a lot of pricing used to be for me subjective. It is what it has to be. And the market, like when people, and like Angela said, I would rather have someone come in, try a class. I was doing this, I don't know if this is gonna be relevant for the podcast. I was doing this first class $5, which is, most classes, my class in Boston that I take for Pilates Reformer is $50 because it's so highly skilled. So we did first class $5. I was getting all these one class only buyers. So when you undervalue something you do, people don't even want it. It's the weirdest psychology. But I'd rather have someone look at the price and say, I don't want that, because I know that there are 10 people behind them who will come in and say, this is so valuable for my life. So, yeah.
Well, human nature tends to, human nature does do that to you. Like, you'll look at things and you'll say, well, this one's $50 more than this one, so this must be the better one, right? That's not always true, right? But there's so many factors that go into how something is priced, but the most important factor is the value that you've created in it.
Which is challenging, though, because the cost of, like we were saying, metals, just daily. If we buy supplies today, if we go tomorrow, every single day it's updated. So, and I'm not going to just wait around and be like, hopefully it comes down. So it does fluctuate a bit. Tariffs, I got hit with like a bunch of things on stones, and that's really difficult because you plan and then it's just, rework, change it up. So I think, again, part of it's fluid with how you have to price it, but I think as long as you know the value of it and without getting to the point of like arrogance that you're like, oh, people are buying all this, let's up the price. Like, that's not, I don't think that's how energetically we don't want to work
But that's
that way.
capitalism.
Yeah.
Supply and demand.
But I
And
think
the
we're in
demand
it
is
for the
high.
long
And then
haul.
somebody else comes in.
Yeah, we're in it for the long haul,
So-
and I think we all build a very strong customer base aside from the shoppers that come by, they'll come back over and over and over again because they know we're not just out for like a quick dollar, or we're not just going to raise the price because I'm not going to raise the price because all my classes are full,
Right.
which a lot of people do, or raise the price just because, I don't know, you're selling more that month. You want the consistent, steady customer.
It's consistently inconsistent. So you have to stay with
Well,
what you know.
that's the nature of selling anything, right? I mean, you're gonna have good months, you're gonna have bad months, right? And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the same people can be 1 month be willing to spend 3 times what they spent the next time they come in, and like, oh, I can't afford it. There's just no rhyme or reason to it, and that's just part of human nature. But I mean, the thing is, what's amazing is that we're all committed to doing it. I think the passion is a huge part of what you do, correct? I mean, what would you wouldn't be starting your own business if you didn't have a passion. And you said it earlier too, you love doing Pilates, so why not make a business out of it, right?
Right.
You love creating jewelry, different kinds, but you also do clothing and all these things. So you're taking your creativity and you're making it, you've built the value. So now you just want to show it to people and let them enjoy it.
Just find the right customers and not like you want to leave anyone out, but when they're ready, they'll be ready.
Right.
They
Right.
might not be, that's fine.
Might be for
but-
somebody else, another customer.
Yeah, and
for
that's
someone
okay.
else,
Like, you're not everyone's cup of tea, but it's a good way to
I've been
build
told that.
a strong.
More than once. It's okay. I'll get over it. All right. Well, this is all pretty cool. Like, do you guys? There's a lot of information. I'm like trying to coming through my head here. But here's a question. So, if someone's listening right now or watching and they're thinking that they want to start a business in Ipswich, what's one thing you wish you had understood about doing that you could maybe convey?
I hate to keep saying consistency. I think it's so easy to be like, oh, it's slow this month. You have to like create the magic for people. You have to excite the community. You have to talk on Instagram if you don't like to. You have to connect, right? Like, I think that to me has been the biggest part. And that was a big thing with the health issue I had, is that I felt I couldn't show up the way I had previously. And how is that going to be impacted? And I don't think it skipped a beat, but in my head, it was something to get over. And I think if people coming in, I think the more the merrier for retail. It's just stick it out and build your brand around what you're
And market.
authentically.
You have to market. You can't just put a sign out front. As you said, you can do online marketing. You can walk around and introduce yourself to the other store owners. Go to the Tuesday night music. Talk to people. I think Ipswich is a small town. No matter how big it gets, it will always have that small town mentality. So
Right.
if someone knows you and trusts you, they will do their business with you. So if I were to say to someone opening a business in Ipswich, get to know the people, because the people will come to you. If they don't know who you are, you'll get some curiosity, but I think the more you can cultivate relationships, and I think all three of us are good at that in town.
Yeah, I mean,
We all
you
eat
guys
at
are
the
all
pub and talk
Yeah.
to all the people.
you're all easygoing. Like I'm sure if I had gone into your store before I met before today, you would have been the same way that Betsy and Nancy.
Yeah,
are.
I don't think
Just-
any of us have a like alter ego that doesn't talk. We're literally what you're gonna get.
That's fair enough. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we move on? Nothing?
Pin drop.
If you had a chance to start over again, and would you do it the same way, or would you do it at all? Maybe that's not a good question, because when people go, I don't like my business. That's me. Actually.
I would have accelerated a little bit faster in my industry by, I don't know, that's a really hard question, because as these guys have said, it's fluid. You're always changing, you're always growing. It's hard to go back and say, what would I do different? I think I would have been a little more ambitious, because I was the first Pilates studio on the North Shore 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
I've
great.
just found that out from ChatGPT. But someone pointed that out to me, so that was fun. But I sat in my little lane for so long. I wish I had accelerated a little faster, but who knows? I don't know. I've enjoyed the ride so much. I've had the best time doing what I do. I still 30 years later, and I know you guys will say the same thing, I get up, I go to work, and I am so happy. I don't want to be anywhere else. So I can't
key.
really answer that. So I guess I would change a few things, but the trajectory has been great.
Awesome. Betsy, same thing?
I mean, I feel like I did it the way I wanted to. I think if I were to change one thing is I would have built up my skill set as a jeweler a little more. I went to mass art, so like customers come in, I'm the worst saleswoman, but you know, they're like, oh, that's so beautiful. I'm like, no, I'm a hack. Like, which I in the jeweler's world, yes, I am kind of a hack.
Her jewel's
But
gorgeous.
I would have taken the time to, actually I'm going to go this August to intensive stone setting course. I wish I had maybe done some continuing ed or just honed my skills and my bench and my tools. But you know, when you get busy with business, like now, maybe the downside of having a store is that I feel like I have no time to create jewelry and new lines and that kind of thing. So yeah, I probably would have had a better skill set, some better tools. But for the most part, I'm so happy. And really just my space and Ipswich, I couldn't imagine it being any other way. It's just been amazing. So
That town does that to people, I think. This town. Just don't go on piss and moan.
no, which I don't. And I hope
actually-
I didn't
I'm not a
sound
member.
pissy and
I'm not a
moany.
member either.
I hope I didn't come across
No, we are fine.
negative.
Kind of had to. Because
Well, I do wish the pub had outdoor seating, I must say.
I think everything we're saying is just an opinion and I mean, a observation. I think it's not like we're saying anything negative. It's just like, this is an observation. It's
Yeah.
reality. It's not, we're not making things
Your
up.
experience.
It's our experience, and that's what makes everything interesting. It would be flatlined if it was always just, yeah.
yeah, I mean, there has to be some good, there has to be some bad with the good, or you're never going to understand or appreciate what you have.
Right.
Right? There's always going to be challenges, and that's all. You have to overcome them, right, and continue on. All right. Well, I think that. So let me just ask you this, and we'll finish with this. Is there anything you could? What would be a good way to get people to come to this town to start a business? What's a good? Not a slogan, but like one thing you could say to someone who's thinking about starting a business here to get them to start it here. What would be one thing?
I would tell them they have to come to Precision Pilates and take classes, and then I'll tell them the secret.
Hey, that's-
I'm just
see,
kidding.
then you can sell, Nancy.
True
You lied.
saleswoman.
I would say just do it, but I also jump into everything. So, I mean, I don't think it's just, if you want to do it, just do it. Like, don't
Yeah.
look for any reason not to do it.
Jump
I
into
think-
anything?
yeah.
Yeah, if you've already thought you want to do it, just try it. Just do
Even a
it.
barrel of some strange liquid. You just.
You can always start with a pop-up.
Yeah.
I would say there you go. You experimented. You know, well,
Yeah.
let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she has the secret right there, the pop-up thing, right?
Yeah.
And I do think that you have to have the personality to start a business that you're just going to jump in. Because if you made that choice in your mind that you're going to do it, second guessing it or
Also, just have a super positive attitude.
and I don't think there's
You
anything
have to-
anyone else can say to tell you that that's what you should do.
Yeah.
Because
Don't
you
doubt
opened that
yourself.
door for business. Like I remember I got the space, I was painting it. My dogs, a ladder, paint, and me. That's it. The place was empty. And I forgot to lock the door, you know, it was paint. And someone came in.
Yeah, they'll
And she like started walking around.
And I'm like,
You're like,
and I was like, and she's like,
"Uh,
oh, I guess you're
not
not
ready."
open yet. I'm like, oh my God, if this is going to be the beginning.
yeah.
we'll buy a
it
can of
is.
paint. Some paint.
Yeah,
We
I'm
could
selling
take that,
paint.
right?
Anyway, but
So that's-
yeah, you open those doors, you're open for business.
I still want to plug Tidal Waves because I'm so proud of Kim for opening our bookstore in Ipswich, and she's an amazing woman. And talk about women in business. I want to shout out, I think, from all of us.
Yeah.
To wish Kim
absolutely.
the best of luck. We will all support you.
And Jenny
Good.
From Union, she
Yeah.
just
Yes,
opened.
and Jenny from Union.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
Beautiful.
And
thing.
Now we're
Nosh,
getting
Nosh
so
is
many-
new.
Yeah,
Nosh.
we're
Is
Is he
doing.
forgetting
So
someone?
so there is some
we forgetting
there is
anything?
some light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
here. I mean, there are some
Oh,
new
yeah.
businesses opening up, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
I
fantastic.
think it's going to turn. I think it's
I
going
do
to be.
too.
Now
What
for
about a
the
candy
coloring.
store? We need another candy store. I
Well, she
think.
does
No,
candy.
Nosh has candy.
Oh, she does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she has a candy store, and she's looking for a space.
So she's inside
So-
Tidal
Oh.
Waves.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I didn't
in
know
the
that.
back there's like,
So she's your next podcast.
those two
well,
should
we
come
could-
in for a podcast.
I'm,
Books and
I'm
candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in with the candy. So that was my
Use an ice cream shop.
that was my secret dream.
I know, an ice cream shop.
We
would
need
be
a
great.
juice shop.
I just want to be the old
yeah,
guy.
juice
In
bar
the,
would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be the old guy with the white mustache behind the counter. What do you want, kid?
Frosties, if you remember Frosties.
How much is that penny candy? $10. What do you think? It's
When I was a child, this is off topic. When I was a child, there was a bar, and they had like poker out back, like gambling. It was a dingy bar, and everyone smoked at the bar. But there was all of us out of Winthrop would walk across the street. It's kind of where that CBD dispensary is now,
Okay.
one of those places. Like I said, everyone's smoking, drinking in the middle of the day. The kids would come in, and they had a huge candy. And like, I'll have 3 Swedish fish. I'll have, the caramel bullseyes. And there'd be like 10 of us with a little brown bag. They'd give us brown bags, penny
caramel
candy.
bullseyes. I never heard
And
that.
all these guys are like drinking and smoking, and it was just so 70s.
We used to call them caramel creams.
Caramel creams, yeah.
Yeah.
Caramel bullseye. That's kind
Or
of
So
bullseye.
that
Those are
was a
great,
candy
yeah.
store in
Because
Ipswich.
you know what a caramel cream is?
Yeah.
so
Well,
let's
we-
get the
We
white.
call them bullseyes.
In Vermont, we call them bullseyes.
We call them bullseyes.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, is
Or
that
the
where you got it?
cattails when it was the long piece.
You got a
Yes.
foreigner in town who's giving these weird terms for it.
Chucks.
Well, you guys, you've been really good sports. I do appreciate you coming in and talking about all this stuff, but we can't leave yet. We got to do one more thing.
Okay.
If you heard any of these shows before, you know there's something we call the lightning round. Now, this is part of the show where I just throw out some really very serious, very stupid questions, and you just respond with whatever comes into your head. Deal?
Deal.
Sure.
We're all like,
Are we trying to beat one another, or it's just
Just
yell
yell
it?
things
no,
out.
just yell it out.
There's no right
There's
answer.
no.
Count
there
to
is.
20.
Well, there's.
Okay.
There's. It doesn't matter whatever you say. It's not going to say it's right or wrong. Number 1. If Goldilocks and the 3 Bears is true, does that make Goldilocks a squatter?
I don't think she was there long enough to be a squatter, so no, I'd say no. I think
I'd say
Goldilocks
no.
is off the hook.
Yeah, I say
Betsy's
no.
like, what?
Yeah, well, I didn't know the questions were going to be like that.
Yeah, no, these are going to be
broke in.
I'd
ridiculously.
say no, she's not a squatter.
This is
She's
you're
just
getting
visiting.
you're getting inside here. See, this is what you're getting now with these questions because this is how I really think.
Okay.
Okay, so true or false? People who live in a black and white world always show their true colors.
True.
Mhm, I have to agree. Yep.
Yeah.
Coolness. I agree with that one too. Number 3, if you think your vacuum sucks, doesn't it work as intended?
Absolutely.
I've had some issues with vacuums.
They didn't suck.
No, and they did suck.
They see that's a paradox though.
I know.
They sucked, but they didn't suck, so that's
Yeah.
why they sucked.
Yeah.
I hate when they suck and then spit it back out like, oh, that sounds so wrong.
We're leaving that in.
Rock salt is everywhere. It's
We're
bad.
leaving that in.
You
So-
better not. I was vacuuming for the rock salt and it all got spit right back out. So anyway,
It's terrible.
now
Right.
you're red for the last questions.
So am I think. Okay, fine. So I don't know what number this is. True or false? After creating man, God said, "I could do better."
Definitely true.
course.
Yes.
Like I expected a
Hands
different
down.
answer.
Yeah.
Right? All right. You're all outstanding in your fields. Does that affect your allergies?
No, I'm immune.
Good for you.
I don't really get allergies.
You know?
No, my daughter has the worst allergies.
Chronically stuffed. People think I have a cocaine habit. Betsy?
No, I don't have allergies. I'm just doing
I was asking if you
handstands
had a
in the
cocaine
fields.
habit, but
Well, she's standing in her field beautifully.
On my hands.
okay.
How's that?
True or false? If you saved a penny a day for the next 3 years, you'd be the only person who did.
True.
Oh, I have to say true.
There's no more pennies.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's another problem with that.
I was going to say only 1 penny, because I feel like what if you saved more than that, then,
You thought
If
we were
you
gonna
have
to
a
do
lot of
math.
pennies saved, share them.
yeah.
Actually, Trish in the shop, she came into the shop. She's like, I took all my change and put it brought it to the bank and it made like $600. And I was like, did you give them your pennies? And she's like, yeah. I was like, we need pennies.
You can round up.
$600 a penny.
Yeah.
What was that, like 70 pounds? Like,
I don't know. I didn't ask her. I was just like, oh, you should have. I would have bought the pennies from you.
Buy the $1 pennies for $1.50.
Yeah, exactly.
and because I'm talking with 3 women, I'm going to be more pandering. So, true or false? Behind every successful woman is a man who wonders, what the hell happened?
No, I
No.
think very supportive men.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's.
Oh, geez.
They might not want to always expose it. I'll put that out there. But truly in their heart, they
I
totally
think
do.
my husband. Anytime I have a success, he's like my big cheerleader. So.
Yeah, my husband's awesome.
That's cool. Okay, well, we're going to end with one final multiple choice question, if I ever get back there. Okay. Oh, sorry. It's just so bad. I'm almost done too. That's it. Sort of. So, you mentioned eyes earlier, like dotting your eyes, right? What is that actual dot called on the top of an eye? Is it a pernicular, a hapazoid, a conical, or a tittle?
Conical.
Pernicular.
A
Then the
tittle.
last
The
one.
last one.
D.
Tittle.
Tittle. I knew the other ones. So I just never heard
I don't
tittle
know what-
before.
Apparently, when they
Pernicular
decided
is-
to name it, they felt a little salacious, and they said, "I'm going to do that." Why would such a
What does
thing have a name?
Yeah, why
it's just
does
a
it need a
dot.
name?
think it's
Yeah.
like,
I dot my eyes, right?
Yeah.
Pernicular, isn't that like well, that's pernic.
Now you're going to ask me
Syn-
definitions.
I think it's like
Pernicious.
kind of
Pernicular.
Is
like
it? I'll have to look that up
You know,
after.
honestly,
Persnickety?
I don't even
Yeah.
know because I had the wrong question here, so I just made up. I know I read it, the question. I know the real answer is what I said, but I don't know what the other 3 terms
Wait,
were. I
read
just
them
threw
again.
them in.
I think one of them's a shape, and one of them is
I think,
a
yeah, the-
eye.
Yeah,
thing.
The
That-
conical is
But
an
it's
I
a-
think
eye.
it's an eye
Yeah.
piece.
I was thinking trapezoid, and I said hapazoid, which probably isn't even a word.
Right.
Okay.
It sounded
Yeah.
like a sound.
It was
a
totally out.
shape.
It wasn't something we
Pern-
were going to actually question, to be right.
I figured I was going to throw in these big words. It's like, I don't know, right?
Well, now we're questioning all these big words.
Except that, like, sorry, swear to God, tittle it's the word. I looked it up. I
That is
verified
a cool little
You learn
tidbit.
something new every day.
Tell
Tidbit
somebody
about
else
a
that
tittle.
this weekend.
Yeah.
It's just, it's weird.
Work that into a conversation while you're skiing.
It's a weird world. Here's the one. I could actually. The other one, my wife said I shouldn't ask you, but maybe.
Uh-oh.
Who's game?
I mean, ask
Look
away.
at Betsy's face.
Whatever.
I don't want to. Betsy's like, I don't want to do it.
Because this one's okay.
I'm always game. Let's hear it.
We'll end with a multiple choice question. What planet experiences rain made of diamonds?
Well, you ladies are jewelers. You should know all about diamonds.
Do we have any hints, or we're just going to guess?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there is it's multiple choice, isn't it? A. Is it A, Venus, B, Jupiter, C, Uranus, or D, Neptune?
Should we say it together?
I think it's.
We
I think
know,
it's-
right? We learned
yeah.
that at jewelry school.
Yes.
Ready?
Yeah.
Uranus.
Uranus.
I agree because it's so cold. Yes, Uranus.
The answer is C, Uranus. Yes, it is indeed that, and that's not what I think of when I think of rain and Uranus. That's not what I think of, but we're not going to go there. I wasn't supposed to say that.
No, you can erase this whole both if you don't like it.
Fine. It's good.
Yeah, if there's anything you really, well, you get to see the show. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. You'll get. I will send you the. Oh, we're not done yet.
It's always painful to watch yourself
That's why I don't.
All right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just
I'll
put
probably
the
listen
stories up and walk
and
away
cringe.
from it.
Yeah,
It's
Paula
like a
takes my.
cringing.
I do one take. You start doing more takes, you fall apart.
Yeah.
And
think too
I don't
much.
even. Sometimes I'm like, can I look and see if I look like a lunatic?
You're so good about
Yeah,
posting.
No, you're.
Because
yeah.
I have Paula does my social media. Paula Sawyer, Lola Wesley Marketing.
Oh,
Do
nice.
a plug for her. I think we're off, but she's amazing.
Yeah.
We're not.
okay.
We're not off yet.
That's
we
my
have to do
plug
the
for
close.
Paula.
Oh, we have
if
to
you
say
need
goodbye.
someone to do your marketing, she can, and she's amazing. And
that.
easy peasy. She could just do one thing for you.
She's
Amazing.
Cool. So another plug. That's fine.
Sure.
We can do that.
Okay.
So anyway, what stands out to me about this conversation is like, again, how much work actually goes into running a business. I think we all know that. How much happens off stage that people don't know about, right? And I got to give credit to all you guys for doing such thing. Anyone who runs a business in any way, it's a hard thing to do because you're not only, doing the physical work or the mental work. I mean, a lot of it is the mental work. Like, am I going to succeed? How am I going to pay my bills? Is this going to sell? This is a big amount of money to put into this budget for this. Am I going to get a return? How do I get rid of this employee who's a jerk? Not that I would know. All these kinds of challenges that all businesses face, but the smaller you are, the bigger the challenges become, right? Mm-hmm. Awesome. My thanks to Betsy Frost, Nancy Higgins, and Angela Zaremba for a thoughtful, honest, and very human conversation, guys. I love the frankness and the candor and all that stuff. And again, you'll get to see it before we air it, and so you can say, take that out.
Well, John, thank you so much for having us.
thank you.
It was really fun.
It was an
Yeah.
honor.
Yeah.
Certainly
Great.
welcome,
Flattered.
guys. Again, thanks for coming in. So maybe you're thinking, I want to be on the show because I can do it better than that weirdo. And maybe you can, but too bad it's my show. But if you want to be on the show, you can email us at guest@saneestate.com. You can also go to the Sane Estate website and fill out the form there to request to be on the show. And we would love to have you. We talk to anyone, everyone. Butchers, bakers, candlestick makers, haters, fakers. Well, maybe not those two. But politicians, beauticians, statisticians, electricians, and every other issue that I can think of. And what else? Yeah, that's it. So, again, guest@saneestate.com. Go to the Sane Estate website. Watch the show on Mondays on YouTube, the Sane Estate channel on YouTube, or 7:30 ICAM Ipswich on Wednesday nights. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and most of all, stay sane.